Let me tell you about the Dybbuk Box. This isn't just any ordinary box you might find in an attic or a dusty old shop. No, this box has a story, a dark and twisted tale that has been whispered through the years. It's not just any old box, it's a relic of fear, a vessel of malevolence that has captured the imaginations and fears of many. This thing is a container of darkness, a prison for something evil. It's not just the wood and nails that hold it together, but the very essence of dread and despair. According to legend, in Jewish folklore, a Dybbuk is a restless, malicious spirit. These spirits are said to be the souls of the dead who cannot find peace, often because of some unresolved issue or a life cut tragically short. A malevolent spirit or restless soul that clings to the living. The term comes from the Hebrew word dybbuk, meaning to cling. It's trapped between worlds and it wants to wreak havoc on the living. Imagine a spirit so tormented that it seeks to inflict its pain on anyone it encounters. Dybbuks are believed to be the spirits of individuals who seek to possess the living to complete their unfinished business. The story goes that this box housed a Dybbuk. It was a desperate attempt to contain something that could not be controlled. A Holocaust survivor supposedly trapped its spirit inside. This survivor, having witnessed unimaginable horrors, believed that the Dybbuk could be used as a tool for vengeance. She wanted to use it to seek revenge. But something went wrong. The spirit, instead of being a weapon, became a curse. The spirit became twisted and angry. It was trapped, and it wanted out. The box became a battleground, a place where the spirit's rage festered and grew. The box itself is pretty simple. It's unassuming, almost mundane in its appearance. It's a plain wooden wine cabinet. But don't let its simplicity fool you. It doesn't look like much, just an old, worn piece of furniture. But looks can be deceiving. Beneath its ordinary exterior lies a history of pain and suffering. They say it's not just a box, it's a warning. A testament to the things that lurk in the shadows, waiting for a chance to escape. Are you ready to explore? Now, let's begin. Welcome to Screamville. The box's reign of terror began with a man named Kevin Mannis. Kevin was an ordinary antique dealer, always on the lookout for unique and valuable items to add to his collection. Little did he know, his latest find would turn his life into a living nightmare. He was an antique dealer, passionate about his work and always eager to discover hidden treasures. His shop was filled with relics from the past, each with its own story to tell. One day, Kevin bought the box at an estate sale. Mannis claimed the box belonged to a Holocaust survivor named Havila, who brought it to the U.S. after World War II. According to Mannis, Havila warned him that the box contained a Dybbuk and should never be opened. It seemed like a great find at the time, a beautifully crafted wooden box with intricate carvings. Big mistake. He had no idea that this seemingly innocent purchase would soon become his worst nightmare. Things started going wrong for Kevin almost immediately. Strange occurrences began to plague his life, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. First, he started having nightmares. These weren't just any bad dreams, they were vivid and terrifying, unlike anything he had ever experienced before. In these nightmares, he was tormented by the vision of an evil hag. She would appear night after night, her presence growing more menacing with each encounter. She would beat him and scratch him, leaving him in a state of sheer terror. The pain felt real, and he would wake up drenched in sweat, his heart pounding in his chest. When he woke up, he'd find bruises on his body. These weren't just figments of his imagination. They were real, physical marks that he couldn't explain. Mannis' employee at the shop reported feeling inexplicably uneasy or watched while in the store. She began experiencing vivid, terrifying nightmares, featuring shadowy figures or being attacked by unseen entities, similar to those Mannis himself claimed to have had. Objects in the store reportedly moved on their own, or fell from shelves without any logical explanation. The employee once found shattered glass with no clear cause, increasing her fear. The employee eventually reached her breaking point after an incident in which she felt a malevolent presence while alone in the store. Mannis claimed she expressed that she felt unsafe and believed something dark or evil was connected to the box. This led her to resign, refusing to work in the store any longer. Mannis has often referenced the employee's departure as one of the earliest confirmations of the Dybbuk Box's paranormal influence. Her abrupt resignation added credibility to his claims about the box's malevolent properties, especially since she was reportedly unaware of its supposed haunting. The box constantly reeked of cat urine. The foul odor permeated his home, making it unbearable to stay inside for long periods. Despite the warning he was given, he opened the box. When he opened it, he found 2 locks of hair bound with string, a granite slab with a Hebrew word shalom carved into it, a small golden goblet, a dried rosebud, a single candlestick with octopus-shaped legs. These items, symbolic of Jewish traditions or possibly magic rituals, added to the mystique. No matter how much he cleaned it, the smell wouldn't go away. He tried everything, from scrubbing it with soap and water to using air fresheners, but nothing worked. But the worst was yet to come. Kevin's life was about to take an even darker turn. In an attempt to rid himself of the cursed box, Kevin gave it to his mother as a gift. He thought that maybe the box would bring her some joy, not realizing the danger he was putting her in. She suffered a stroke the same day. It was a devastating blow, and Kevin was consumed with guilt and fear. He knew the box was responsible. The timing was too coincidental, and he couldn't ignore the growing evidence that the box was cursed. It was like it fed on misery. The box seemed to thrive on the suffering it caused, and Kevin felt powerless to stop it. Desperate to end the nightmare, Kevin tried to get rid of the box. He threw it in the trash, hoping that would be the end of it. He even tried to destroy it. He smashed it with a hammer, set it on fire, and did everything he could think of to break the curse. But it always came back. Like a cursed boomerang, the box would reappear in his home, no matter how far he tried to get rid of it. He finally realized he was in over his head. The box was more powerful than he had ever imagined, and he couldn't fight it alone. He had to get rid of it for good. He hoped that by doing so, he could finally put an end to the nightmare that had consumed his life. After experiencing unsettling events, Manis sold the box on eBay. His original eBay listing for the box in 2003 is legendary, as it played a key role in popularizing the item's haunted reputation. Manis's description was dramatic and detailed, filled with chilling anecdotes designed to intrigue buyers. Here's a breakdown of what he claimed in the listing. Manis titled the auction Dybbuk Box. This name immediately grabbed attention, as it referenced a spirit in Jewish folklore, something unfamiliar to many at the time. Manis described the Dybbuk Box as a small wine cabinet with dimensions of approximately 12.5 inches x 7.5 inches x 16.25. He claimed it contained 2 locks of hair, 1 blonde, 1 brown, bound with string, a small granite engraved slab with Hebrew inscriptions, a dried rosebud, a single candlestick holder, a mysterious golden goblet, 2 pennies from the 1920s. Manis stated that he purchased the box from an estate sale in Portland, Oregon in 2001. The box belonged to a Polish Holocaust survivor named Havela, who had emigrated to the U.S. after World War II. He was told that Havela had brought the box to America after surviving a Nazi concentration camp. Manis made it clear that he was selling the box with a warning to potential buyers. He wrote, "This is a haunted item. I will not take it back under any circumstances. Buyer beware." Manis explained that the box came with a history of paranormal activity and bad luck. The listing ended with college student Yosef Naitzke purchasing the box for $140. Naitzke was studying at Truman State University and reportedly purchased the box out of curiosity, having read the eerie stories associated with it online. After receiving the box, Naitzke claimed that he experienced a series of increasingly bizarre and troubling events. Naitzke developed severe, inexplicable health problems after acquiring the box. He began losing his hair in clumps, a condition that doctors could not attribute to any medical cause. He also reported chronic fatigue, weakness, and other unexplained physical ailments. Naitzke started experiencing recurring nightmares, eerily similar to those described by Kevin Manis. These dreams featured a shadowy, demonic figure that loomed over him or attacked him. The figure reportedly terrified Naitzke, and the dreams became so vivid that he had trouble distinguishing them from reality. Objects around his home began moving or falling inexplicably. Electronics malfunctioned frequently, much like in Manis's account. The atmosphere in his living space felt oppressive and heavy, adding to his unease. Naitzke claimed that the box had a tangible effect on his emotional well-being. He felt an unshakable sense of dread and despair while near the box. He became more irritable and isolated, straining his relationships with friends and family. At one point, he said the presence of the box made him feel as though he was being watched constantly. Unable to endure the strange occurrences, Naitzke decided to sell the box on eBay, much like Manus had done. The buyer was Jason Haxton, a medical museum director and paranormal enthusiast from Missouri. Haxton purchased the box for $280, doubling what Nitzke had paid. Nitzke later expressed regret about buying the box, saying it was not worth the suffering he endured. Unlike Kevin Manus, who saw the box as a mixture of folklore and personal experience, Nitzke strongly believed that something genuinely sinister was connected to it. Following the sale, Nitzke reportedly distanced himself from the box and its legend, seeking to leave the troubling chapter behind him. The box's reputation, however, only grew as it passed into Jason Haxton's hands, who would go on to write a book and further publicize its history. At the time, Haxton was skeptical but curious. He saw the box as a unique addition to his collection, rather than a genuine supernatural threat. After taking possession of the box, Haxton claimed to experience a range of unsettling and inexplicable phenomena. Haxton developed sudden and severe health problems, including hives, coughing up blood, and an odd metallic taste in his mouth. He reported that he would randomly feel as though he was suffocating or unable to breathe properly. Doctors were unable to diagnose the cause of these symptoms. He began suffering from mysterious rashes and welts that would appear and disappear without explanation. Like Kevin Manus and Iosif Nitzke, Haxton experienced vivid and terrifying nightmares about a dark, malevolent entity associated with the box. The dreams often involved shadowy figures or scenes of death and destruction. Objects in his home would move inexplicably, and items would go missing only to reappear in strange places. He also reported hearing disembodied voices, particularly whispers, when he was alone. Haxton described the presence of the box as creating a palpable feeling of dread and unease. He felt as though he was being watched and occasionally overwhelmed by an oppressive, malevolent force. After enduring these bizarre and troubling occurrences, Haxton became determined to understand what he was dealing with. He sought out information from Kevin Manus, the box's original owner, to uncover its full history and perhaps find a way to rid himself of its influence. Haxton tracked down Manus and reached out to him for details about the box's origin and what Manus had experienced. Manus provided Haxton with the story of the box, including its alleged history as an artifact containing a Dybbuk, an evil spirit from Jewish folklore. The two exchanged stories of their experiences with the box. Manus confirmed many of the phenomena Haxton was experiencing, such as the nightmares, health issues, and oppressive feelings. This deepened Haxton's belief that the box carried a spiritual or supernatural burden. Haxton immersed himself in studying Jewish mysticism, folklore, and history to learn more about Dybbuks and how to deal with malevolent spirits. He even consulted rabbis and spiritual leaders, hoping they could help him neutralize or cleanse the box. After numerous failed attempts to rid himself of the box's influence, Haxton finally decided to seal the box and bury it in a secret location to prevent further harm. He later retrieved it and placed it in a secure container, attempting to shield himself and others from its effects. Kevin Manus, the original owner of the box, reached out to Havilah, the granddaughter of the box's original owner, after his initial disturbing experiences. His aim was to learn more about the box's history, the spirit attached to it, and whether there was a way to stop the misfortunes everyone was facing. During their conversation, Havilah revealed chilling details about the box, including a seance connected to its origin. Initially, Havilah was hesitant to talk about the box. She had inherited it from her grandmother and had always known it was not to be opened. Manus insisted on understanding the object's true nature, which prompted her to share more. Havilah reiterated that her grandmother, a Holocaust survivor, had brought the box with her when she emigrated to America. The box was one of the few personal items she managed to preserve during the atrocities of the war. Havilah revealed that her grandmother and a group of friends had conducted a seance in the aftermath of World War II. This was a time of immense grief, and many people turned to spiritual practices to reconnect with lost loved ones or find closure. During the seance, they attempted to contact the spirit of a loved one. However, something went wrong, and they inadvertently summoned a Dybbuk, a restless and malevolent spirit from Jewish folklore. Realizing the danger, Havilah's grandmother and her group of friends worked to trap the spirit within the wine cabinet. These required rituals steeped in Jewish mysticism and prayers to seal the spirit inside the box. The items inside the box, locks of hair, a granite slab with Hebrew inscriptions, and other personal artifacts, were part of the binding process. Havela's grandmother issued strict instructions that the box was never to be opened, as doing so would release the spirit. It was passed down as a cursed family heirloom, with every generation told to leave it untouched. In 2011, Haxton published a book detailing his experiences with the artifact and its eerie history. The book included his research into Jewish folklore and interviews with previous owners, including Kevin Mannis. Haxton's ownership of the box brought it significant media attention, solidifying its status as one of the most infamous haunted objects in the world. The haunted box eventually became part of Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum in Las Vegas, where it remains on display as a centerpiece of the museum's collection of paranormal. Here's where things get murky. In 2021, Kevin Mannis publicly admitted in interviews and online discussions that he had invented the story surrounding the Dybbuk Box. He acknowledged that the dramatic backstory, including the Holocaust connection, the seance, and the concept of the Dybbuk being trapped within, was fictional. Mannis stated, "I am a creative writer. The box is a story I created." Mannis explained that he crafted the tale as a way to make the object intriguing and marketable. As a storyteller and writer, he wanted to create a compelling narrative around the wine cabinet, which he initially found at a yard sale. While Mannis admitted to fabricating the supernatural elements and historical connections, he maintained that the box itself had led to strange and unexplainable experiences in his life, which inspired him to weave the legend. Many paranormal enthusiasts and researchers were disappointed by Mannis's confession. The Dybbuk Box had become a centerpiece in modern paranormal lore, featured in books, documentaries, and Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum in Las Vegas. Skeptics used Mannis's admission to discredit not only the Dybbuk Box legend, but also broader claims of haunted or cursed objects. Despite Mannis's confession, some continued to believe in the box's paranormal power. They argued that even if the backstory was fictional, the negative experiences of subsequent owners like Jason Haxton suggested a genuine haunting or curse. The legend of the box had grown far beyond Mannis's original tale by the time of his admission. It inspired films like The Possession, 2012, and was featured in countless paranormal investigations. Mannis's story exemplified how folklore and pop culture can amplify a fabricated narrative into a widely believed myth. The box remains one of the most popular exhibits in Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. Bagans, who owns the box, has claimed personal experiences with it, including feeling ill and witnessing unexplained phenomena. Bagans has acknowledged Mannis's admission, but continues to emphasize the reported experiences of others who've interacted with the box. Even after admitting to creating the story, Mannis continues to play an active role in the box's lore. He has suggested that while the backstory was fictional, the box may have become cursed or haunted over time due to the intense focus and belief surrounding it. Mannis's admission has added a meta-narrative to the box's story, blending fact, fiction, and belief into a modern urban legend. Kevin Mannis's confession highlights the power of storytelling in shaping cultural myths. While the box may have started as a fictional tale, its impact on the paranormal community, pop culture, and folklore has made it one of the most enduring, haunted object legends of the 21st century. Whether people believe in its supernatural nature or see it as a cautionary tale about belief, the box continues to fascinate and terrify. This story leaves us with more questions than answers. Kevin Mannis may have admitted to fabricating parts of its backstory, but how do we explain the unsettling experiences of others, like Jason Haxton and Yosef Neitzke? Both men reported severe physical and emotional effects, unexplainable phenomena, and even health issues linked to the box. Can belief itself be so powerful that it manifests real consequences? Or was the box imbued with something far more sinister than a fictional tale? And then there's the matter of Kevin Mannis's retraction. Did he change his story simply because it had spiraled out of his control? Or was he pressured by external forces to downplay its eerie reputation? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between, a mix of storytelling, psychological influence, and the unknown forces that we can't quite define. Whether the box is a product of imagination or a vessel for something otherworldly, one thing remains certain: its legend has taken on a life of its own. As the line between fact and fiction blurs, the box reminds us of the power of belief and the mysteries we still can't fully explain. What do you think? Is the box a true paranormal artifact or just an elaborate hoax? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, Some stories are scarier because the truth is still out there. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel. And as always, thanks for watching.